Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Om Vishnupad Paramhams Puri Vijakaracharya Astrodha Sat Srimad Shila Abhay Chanavrind Bhaktivedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anant Kodi Vaishnavrind Ki Jai Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namaskar Krishna Srimad Vrajanath Swami Namaskar Krishna Krishna Namaste Hare Krishna. Today we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 5, entitled The Cause of All Causes, text number 6. We'll all do Mangal Char. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vangsha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Text number 6. Naham Veda Param Yasmin. Naham Veda Param Yasmin. Na Param Na Samam Vibho. Na Param Na Samam Nam Rupa Guner Bhavyam. Nam Rupa Guner Bhavyam. Sadasat Kinchid Anyatha. Sadasat Kinchid Anyatha. Naham Veda Param Yasmin. Naham Veda Param Yasmin. Na Param Na Samam Vibho. Na Samam Vidho. Nama Rupa Guner Bhavyam. Nama Rupa Guner Bhavyam. Sadasat Kinchid Anyatha. Sadasat Kinchid Anyatha. Vaishnavas. Naham Veda Param Yasmin. Na Param Na Samam Vibho. Nama Rupa Guner Bhavyam. Sadasat Kinchid Anyatha. Naham Veda Param Yasmin. Na Param Na Samam Vibho. Nama Rupa Guner Bhavyam. Sadasat Kinchid Anyatha. Word for word. Na, do not. Aham, myself. Veda, no. Param, superior. He, for. Asmin, in this world. Na, neither. Aparam, inferior. Na, nor. Samam, equal. Vibho, O Great One. Nama, name. Rupa, characteristics. Gunehi, by qualification. Bhavyam, all that is created. Sat, eternal. Asat, temporary. Kinchid, or anything like that. Anyatha, from any other source. Translation, purport by His Divine Grace. Abhay Chunadrin, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Whatever we can understand by the nomenclature, characteristics, and feature of a particular thing, superior, inferior, or equal, eternal or temporary, is not created from any source other than that of your Lordship, thou so great. Purport. The manifested world is full of varieties of created beings in 8.4 million species of life, and some of them are superior and inferior to others. In human society, the human being is considered to be the superior living being. And amongst the human beings, there are also different varieties. Good, bad, equal, etc. But Narad Muni took for granted that none of them has any source of generation besides his father, Brahmaji. Therefore, he wanted to know all about them from Lord Brahma. Jai. So here the conversation continues between Brahma and Narada. And this, for us, is the original lineage that we come from. We are from the Brahma, Naradiya, Madhava, Gaudiya Sampradaya, right? So, and Prabhupada, from that Sampradaya. So this is the original conversation in our Sampradaya. So we understand this. I remember when I first read this, I was asking my dad that why did Narad have to ask Brahma? Isn't he a Nitya Siddha? Nitya Siddha, right? Why does he have to question? He should know everything. That's why you're a Nitya Siddha. So it's explained that even in that, my dad was explaining that even in that position, when one takes a guru, one should act dumb. One should not think, hey, my dear guru, I'm an expert. No, even when one takes a guru, one has to be humble in their position. Right? So that appreciation is there. So it is explained when one's guru comes in front of him, then the Guru is like the bright light. He represents Krishna, right? So Krishna is considered, Krishna Surya Saman. So Krishna is considered like the sun. So when the sun comes, then one doesn't see anything else. You get blinded by everything else. So then in that position, one should be humble. So that is the humility. Of course, I'm not saying that one should act dumb. That is also there. So one should not act dumb either. But the idea is that one should not overanalyze their intelligence. That is the point. Right? So here, although we can say that Narad Muni is very expert, this is his third birth. Like, based on what Narad Muni has explained to us. It's his third birth. Right? So then, on that position, we guys can say that yes, he's had so many positions that he has taken, where he has now he's in a he's in a situation where he's fully realized. Nonetheless, when he stands in front of his guru, he's humble in his presentation. So that is one aspect we can take out. That is one aspect we take out from this Brahma Narada. In this conversation, that is one aspect we take out. The other one we take out here is how the scientists view the world. Right? Here Narad is taking that position. He's saying that everything I see has emanated from you. So from my observable fact. Right? So there is an observable fact. I can observe this. I can see this has all come because of you. So therefore, you are the origin. So that is why here he's saying sad asad kinchid anyatha. Right? So you see sorry. Sorry. I didn't realize it was not written, my mistake. I didn't actually pay attention. Sorry. But the last line of the shloka, that's funny. That was good. Magic. It's not there now. Sadasad kinchid anyatha. So that which is eternal and temporary or anything of that sort, it's all coming from you. Right? So that position Narad is taking. And if you sometimes listen into the conversations of these scientists, like I was listening to some of the conversation of the atheistic scientists and also of moralists, people who are into understanding morals and ethics. So there is a whole science of this. You see, when they present this idea that everything is in this earth. So because their observable fact is that everything is within this solar system. So for them, this solar system is the truth. This heliocentric world is the truth. Right? Now, there is an interesting question that somebody asked that, what if the satellites find something that is not there? Right? If that was to happen, it will, change their truth. I think it was Devamrit Maharaj. I just remember when I saw Prabhu, then what Maharaj had said once is a very nice point. He was explaining that right now, all the philosophies of the world are geocentric. Every philosophy that we have come up with is geocentric, means it is discussed within the concept of earth. It's geocentric. So whether it is Buddhism, Jainism, Christianity, Muslim religion, it's all geocentric. Right? It is of this earth. And he says, what if one day you find an alien? What happens now? Yeah, is that concept making sense? Because for us, we have both theistic and atheistic. Like in both philosophies, we are geocentric. Jesus came on this earth. Right? Prophet Muhammad came here. God created this earth. Right? So it's very geocentric. But if suddenly you found something from some other planet, it debases all your philosophies. All philosophies are debased. Even atheistic. I'm not just talking theistic. Like I said, atheistic philosophy is heliocentric. Okay, this earth, only here. Or this is how it came out. Only here. So that thought process is there. That thinking, that calculation is geocentric. Moment you get something else, you have debased your whole philosophy. So I like that point. If you can catch that point, it's a very beautiful point. Right? So this is the presentation that Narad Muni is giving. This is what I can observe. Right? From my observable fact, this is the truth. But you will see later on as he asks his question, he says, but is there another truth? He asks that question. Is there another truth? And one unfortunate thing is that today's modern theistic and atheistic philosophies don't ask that question. is there another truth? Right? Because if you ask that question, then you can, enhance your thought process. What if there is another truth? What if there was? Like, I believe in morality. I believe that humans should not kill humans. Right? And if you notice in all moralistic and atheistic philosophies, they don't care about animals. You can kill animals, that's okay. You just, morally, you should not kill humans. Like the human beings, you should not kill them. So, even in that moralistic world, now suddenly if you find an alien who's way bigger than you, who's way superior than you, way more intelligent than you, then is it okay from their moralistic stance to kill humans? You see, that's the moral question. Like, that's the real moral dilemma. Right? So, this appreciation we should have, that Narad Muni, although he is asking the question that I have an observable fact, my dear Brahma, my father, my dear Brahma, I can see this observable fact. However, is there another truth? Could there be another truth? And this questioning we have to do. Today's, like if you were to go and talk to us, an atheist or an agnostic, or even people who are not interested, let's use that word. Like Srila Prabhupada says, there are 3 types of atheists, right? There is no God, everyone is God, or even if there is a God, I don't care. So all 3, this is, I think, what is the book? The blue book. Science of Self-Realization. So the 3 types, right? And it's very interesting that how he presents this. And I was thinking, yeah, this is so nice. Nobody is God, everybody is God, or there is a God, I don't care. That's very interesting. And for all such people, right? We should, when we converse with them, you will see that their basis of everything is observable fact. Right? I was listening to a Mayavad philosopher. He was presenting Mayavad. When I'm saying I'm listening means it was in a debate. It's not like I was listening to his classes. He was in a debate and he was presenting a point in the debate. And he was explaining that. He says, all we can observe, we are all one. You see? Observable fact. So everyone is baselining on observable fact. What they are not applying is the formula. So the modern science has come up with this idea that there is a formula and there is observable fact, and both should align. If both align, now there is meaning. Otherwise there is no meaning. Right? And this is pretty much the position that Bhagavatam and Vaishnavism takes. There is a formula, Bhakti Yoga, and there is observable fact. And both of them align. Right? And now you're in Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Like both now function. Otherwise you will only either be in Bheda or you will be in Abheda. You cannot join the 2 bridges. Someone has to join the bridge, right? And that is the Vedic principle. So this is the second observation from this, that Narad Muni is sitting, he's asking his father the question that everything that I can observe, sat asat kinchit anyatha. Everything that I can observe, which is eternal or temporary. Now, here, when he uses the term eternal, and you'll see scientists also use this term. Don't just think that Narad Muni is, trying to talk from spiritual. No, he's talking from material angle here. Right? From material angle, even they believe, yes, the universe, the primordial soup always existed. Right? It always existed. Now, what you are seeing is a portion of that. So even they accept the Sat Asat. Right? They don't want to link it to Krishna. Right? But neither does the Mayavad. So, both of them have the same principle at the end. There is no God or everyone is God. The principle is still the same, right? So nothing has changed. You haven't changed your platform. Your platform is everyone is 0 or everyone is 1. What does that mean? It's the same thing. What's the difference? You're like, no, there is no God, or no, everyone is God. Yeah, so what's the point? If everyone is God, it doesn't matter. And if there is no God, it doesn't matter. You see? So if everyone is God, why are you teaching philosophy? Let them do whatever they want. It's Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, right? If you believe everyone is God, then eat the rotten mangoes. This was in the train, right? So somebody had given him mangoes, and you know the story. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj doesn't eat mangoes because a young boy, he took a vow. This is amazing, right? So some of our parampara gurus have taken some very interesting vows. So this is an interesting vow by him. I will not eat mangoes. But then in the train, because someone gave him mangoes, it was 3-4 days. He's on his, tour, his preaching tour. The mangoes spoil, You've been in India, right? It's quite hot in the train. Mangoes spoil. And then this Mayavad philosopher is engaging in Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. He said, now, okay, if everything is one, you eat these rotten mangoes. And the brahmacharis were there, so they're big boys. So the Mayavad was eating a rotten mango. I think I don't know the exact, like whether he ate 1, 2, I don't remember, but at some point he realized, no, everything is not one. He's saying, yes. So when it comes to practicing your philosophy, there's an issue, right? So the main call out here is that this position of Sat, of the fact that it's eternal, both theists and atheists take this position, right? Both theists and atheists take this position. And remember, most of our theism and most of our atheism only gets us to Brahmananda, the Brahma Jyoti. We are now going to get out of that. So the 3 ahankars that we have, like it's very like this is Bhaktividya Poon Maharaj was explaining this so nicely. He's saying that when the universe forms, he's explaining the sarga, how the universe creation happens. We are going to come to that. He's explaining that there are the 3 ahankars that that is the core principle of this creation, and Shambhu represents that. Shambhu is that representation of that. So he was explaining that most people will focus on getting rid of these 3 ahankars, your subtle body, and then you finish it. He's saying, but there is actually a 4th ahankar, which no one focuses on, even in theism, which is Purusha Bhava, which is why we are here, right? So we are Prakriti, but we have taken on Purusha Bhava. We have taken on Krishna's mood. I want to be Ishwara. Ishwaro aham bhogi. I have taken that Purusha Bhava. And he says, till that Bhava doesn't leave, you're not leaving this material world. You're not leaving. That is the first original entrance. The first entrance into this material creation is Purusha Bhava. You can get rid of all of your 3 ahankars. I am meditating, or I am a great scientist and I have come up with this, either or, in that extreme range, in the Sat world. Right? We will never get out of this material world till we don't understand that this is a Purusha Bhava, that's the issue. Right? So that is the second contemplation that we have. So first we say that, Brahma and Narada, he takes a humble position. Right? And then through this process, he will gain his spiritual knowledge. Right? The second aspect we take here is that he's trying to show how a theist and an atheist, from a material lens, looks at the world. Right? Sat. He still, they both accept this principle. They have an issue with who's creating. Now the third interesting thing he's talking about here is bias. There is bias. Right? So, Nama, Rupa, Guna. This is bias. Now today, there is a big conversation happening in socio-political structures today about racism. It's a major issue, racism, right? If you guys Google somewhere, you'll see major issues about this is racist, that is racist, that is racist. Oh, you're a racist, you're a fascist. These words are coming out. You are a discriminating person. Like you'll see this. But the problem here is that what Narad Muni is trying to present is that the bias is, it's part of your quality. It's almost your dharma. Bias is almost your dharma. Now, when I use this word, please be careful. What I'm trying to say is, when we enter the material world, then bias becomes our dharma. This is our Purusha Bhava. So that is what Purusha Bhava is. You have to discriminate for your Purusha Bhava to come out. Does that make sense? How can I lord over all of you? How? So right now I'm speaking. I got the mic. See the Purusha Bhava. How? How is this happening? So that I have to discriminate. You see, do you know when in the 3 they say Madhyam Adhikari must discriminate? You remember that? Why do they say that? Because at that time he is presenting. So in that time you have to discriminate. Otherwise, what's there to present? If there is no discrimination, how do you present? Right? Is that making sense? So this bias, Narad Muni is pointing on this bias. Nama, Rupa, Guna, bias is always going to be there. Do you know something interesting? That artificial intelligence, you have all gone to university. So in artificial intelligence, there is a very interesting concept that when you're teaching, you have to first teach the machine. And so when you teach the machine, you give it weights. Like there are 200 data points. You have to give the data point weights, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, like different weights. And you have to give it bias. If you don't give a bias to the machine, it cannot learn. So that is how core bias is, that even the artificial intelligence needs bias. Are you understanding? Like, once you get this, you're like, this Purusha Bhava is very ingrained. Like, this is so ingrained that we don't even notice it. Right? And then, of course, we get very angry and we say, oh, you're discriminating. No, the bias is in us. Right? We are all biased people. We all have biases. Now, of course, we may say that this too much bias is bad. And so, that range, the issue of range, we can agree to. The original positioning of a devotee is that your original bias against Krishna is the bad problem. The original sin. Well, I'm just using terms. This is not what the original sin equates to, but the term here is that not liking Krishna is the original bias. Everything else is a consequence of that original bias. Does that make sense? So this Nama, Rupa, Guna, when Narad Muni is presenting nomenclature, characteristics and features, this provides bias to us. So sometimes you may wonder that if someone is a moralist and an ethics professor, how come he doesn't understand that animal killing is bad? How come? Like, how can they not see it? Because the bias is very clear. It's in Nama, Rupa and Guna. Right? That Rupa is acceptable to be killed. What's the problem? What's the issue? Just kill it. What's the, why is that an issue? And in Nama, all the isms, there is no ism in this world that, Srila Prabhupada said, schisms. Srila Prabhupada used that word, schisms. All these schisms are an issue. Like, capitalism, fascism, like, whatever. All of these schisms are an issue. Right? So, Nama, Rupa, Guna is our bias. And if we can appreciate this bias, we can start seeing this world in a more nominal way. Like, we can start looking at, okay, this guy is extremely, he's in one extreme corner of the bias. Do you know, an interesting fact is nowadays, modern science, not modern science, I apologize, modern technologists are talking about the fact that artificial intelligence will soon surpass human calculation. Right? So far what was happening was machines were being used to fast track human calculation. Just fast track, nothing else. Right? So, imagine you're playing chess. The machine can think 5,000 moves ahead. Human can only probably think 10, 20. So it was able to fast track. Right? Now, they're saying that artificial intelligence is taking the next step, which is contemplation. Right? So there is a game called Go. You guys may have seen that game, Go, where it's like, what's the right way to explain this? Like there is I think it's a 64 by 64 board. I don't remember the size of the board. And then you put black and white things on it, and then the one with the maximum one who corners the other guy, he wins. Now the problem with this game is, unlike chess, in chess there is a finite position that you can apply. In Go, there is no finite position. But now, Google DeepMind, which is one of the AIs, was able to defeat the Go champion, in consecutive matches. In not just one or two matches, but consecutive matches. So now they are saying that, AI is coming into a new phase of contemplate. Like it can now recalculate what is going on. Right? So that position of programming has come. So one of their greatest concern is that what if artificial intelligence starts making decisions that are different to what we want it to make? Right? So there is that worry. So the solution that modern technologists are giving us is that we humans have to now get AI in us. Like we have to be augmented humans. Like we have to augment ourselves, right? Do you know in Sweden, 3,000 people have put chips in them. It's only the size of a rice grain, so it's not big. They've chipped themselves, right? So they're paying, just tap and pay. It's here, right here. You won't even feel it. Like, you're not even going to know what's there. Like, we get bumps, like we get pimples, right? So it's just a small bump there. What's the big deal? So you're augmenting yourself, right? And the reason why I'm pointing this out is that now there will come a point. See, already there is a social structure of are you vaccinated versus are you not vaccinated? This bias. We're talking about Nama, Rupa and Guna. Right? You're going to see this break. Are you here or are you here? And now slowly it's going to be, are you augmented versus are you not augmented? right? And society is tracking towards that path. So there is this great fear that, if we don't augment ourselves as humans, machines will overrun us. Why? Why? Because everyone internally knows that bias works. That bias will cause a problem. And so Narad Muni is, he's touching on that bias. This Nama Rupa Guna bias exists. Right? So this is the interesting concept. And when Narad Muni is presenting all this, we can observe all these questions in our current day and age. Yes, this is happening. So, these, I was listening to this, this ethics professor, moral professor, and he was focusing a lot on bias. He was saying that human bias is like this, human bias is like that, but it doesn't. What he's not understanding, or when we distill, you're scientists, you distill things, and we distill it down, that the bias is innate to us. It is what we are. Right? So you can try build as much ethics as you want. Every ethics is biased. Every moralist is biased. It's just a fact, right? There are no borders. Like, it's very interesting that he was explaining that he was saying, some people say that borders are not required, right? But then he was saying, he himself was, as he was speaking, he was saying, but you can find counterpoints to that. So, he's getting this idea that, in argument, you can take a counter to any point and you can explain it. And that is why it is explained that these flowery words of the Vedas can confuse us. Knowledge is very flowery. It can confuse us. Right? So I'll end here. It's 8:35. But you get the general construct of how this conversation is going to go. And as the creation is brought out, the first focus is going to be Sarga. That's why the cause of all causes. This is going to be Sarga. Right? Then Visarga is going to come. Right? And so it is the Sarga part that we are focused on. We are less worried about the Visarga. I mean, Visarga has value. It's not like we don't. Scientists are into, the Poshana, that positioning of planets. Like, you'll see that everyone's interested in Bhagavatam. If you consider this, historians, Manamantra, so they want to know history. So everyone's interested. Trust me, like, there is nothing in Bhagavatam, the 10 principles that are discussed are your 10 sciences that you will see. You're going to see these 10 sciences, right? There is the spiritual part, so ignore those. Those are not really taught, right? But in your standard conversation, you will see most of these being discussed, right? These 10 topics. So these 10 topics have been explained in Bhagavatam, and for us, the main focus will be the Sarga part. Why? Because it is the Sarga that causes the issue. When I say issue, meaning for us, Krishna's creation of the Sarga is, for us, it's the issue, because now we are realizing we shouldn't be in the material world. So, that's the problem. Actually, we are the problem, but we'll discuss that, that conversation will come out. Yep, so we'll end here. Devotees want to share something? It's a very nice verse. Oh, yeah, so that's what I was trying to touch on Nama Rupa Guna. And so it's saying that is primarily the bias that we have. So bhavyam, the word bhavyam is used here. So bhavyam is all that is created. Srila Prabhupada mentions this. And the bhava of the bhavyam is bias. So bias is us, the Purusha bhava, us distinguishing ourselves from Krishna. Saying that, no, why Krishna is God? I am God. Ishwaro aham, aham bhogi. That bias will now function, because if you have to be Ishwara, right? And when I use the word Ishwara, don't think Krishna, but just think if you have to control something, right? You have to have bias. You cannot control if there is no bias. So you're like, oh, he's also good, he's also good, he's also good. Okay, so then what's the point? Everyone is good, right? No, some control is required. You will be leading some temple activities. Now, I remember once we were doing a drama. So one devotee was directing the drama. So he was saying that, oh, you're all senior. I said, Prabhu, that doesn't matter. Right now, you're the director. The bias is that you are leading. It doesn't matter if there is senior, junior. That's of no consequence. You are the director. You have to lead. Right? That's just the way it is, right? Otherwise, the Ishwara Bhava cannot come out. So you will notice this in Krishna. Krishna always leads in any circumstance. Right? So no matter what the Leela is, he's leading. Whichever Leela, like whatever Leela you can think, oh, in this, but he's not leading. No, he's leading even in that. There is no situation where he is not leading. So that's quite interesting. Once you observe that. So the main bias here is the fact that our Purusha Bhava exists. And then from that, now there is range to bias, right? So I may think that, okay, this person is not very intelligent. So I may not say that, so okay. But then some people may say, you are not very intelligent. And somebody may go worse, he's dumb, and then the range falls, right? The range just goes down from there, abusing and, I will kill you, I'll come to your house, I'll bomb you, so then the range goes quite bad. So it can get quite bad, but I'm saying that range is an issue. I'm not denying that. Extremism is there, right? But the issue is that the extremism is just a consequence of the bias. There is no other thing for the extremism, right? Whenever you see an extremist, he will bomb the others, right? He will kill something else because that else is causing the problem. So the bias is there. And so that's why it's a bhavyam, the bhava, the original problem, the original bias is in us. And it is explained that Krishna's yoga nidra, that ignorance when it comes in, the bias is there. Because once he closes it, now no one can see Krishna, right? Now how many of us can see Krishna? We can't. Start the bias. I'm God. No, listen to me. And then we'll all form, teams. And then it happens. I don't know if you guys ever read that book, Lord of the Flies. Or maybe saw that, and it is, of course, it's a bit disturbing, I should say that. It is a bit disturbing, but it's so nicely explained that these kids, they get shipwrecked. And these kids are in the island. And, they start forming tribes, and they start killing each other. These are like 7-year-olds, 6-year-olds. But that can happen, that bias occurs. Right? So, I don't know if you remember as a child, you sometimes squash an ant. Right? What is the name of that Muni? He got slashed. And then he curses Vidura. He curses Yamraj to become Vidura. So he did the same thing, right? He was doing with the blade of grass, and then he's like, how can you pierce me because of what I did when I think he was 4 or 5 years old, whenever he did that. But the point is that Ishvara Bhava is there. Like, why is this thing moving? Can I crush it? Yes. So we have done it. All of us have done it. Right? So that bhavya does exist. This is very interesting. Like when we see these things, and the really interesting point is that today modern education is focusing a lot on these things, right? I don't know if nowadays you guys have seen about the gender equality issue. And when I say gender equality, not gender equality, gender terminology, like pronoun, he, him, they, them, it. Like nowadays people are saying, I have an issue if you say he or she. You must say it or them. The pronouns, like I'm trying to tell you how biased things are getting. Like they're like, no, that's an issue. It's like, okay, that's an issue. Okay, today modern education. I sometimes feel for today's kids when they're studying. It's so scary, right? Because you have to appreciate one thing. For education, one has to present their foolishness to be educated. You may look at this and say, Narad Muni doesn't look very intelligent. Right? If you were to read these, like just without understanding who Narad Muni is, and you're a devotee, you're a big Vedantist, right? You're a big Vedantist. You look and think, if you just read this line, whatever we can understand, this guy is fool. He doesn't know that Krishna is supreme. You see? If you just were to read this. But the point here is, if you want to educate yourself, you have to look at the dumb parts of it. It is very nice. This ethics professor was saying that he says that sometimes in ethics we have to discuss what is wrong in killing a baby and eating it. We have to discuss this. And then your ethics come out. No, it's wrong because of this reason. Right? So you have to debate this position. You have to debate a not so intelligent position to understand that your intelligent position makes sense. But he is saying that today, unfortunately, in universities, if you were to discuss this point, right, you'll go on YouTube and you'll get banned from the university. It's become so touchy and feely. Like everyone is very touchy and feely. Now you have to understand why is this happening. Because all of us are dealing so much in energy, in prakriti, right? We are all into social media nowadays. And I was trying to explain to somebody, the reason we are interested in social media is we are interested in people's energy. We're not interested in the person. Right? So I'll just give you an example. Sometimes you read a book distribution story, you think, what a nice story.
See, you're interested in the energy. I'm interested in looking at the interaction, not necessarily interested in the book distributor themselves. Is that making sense? See, everyone gets enthusiastic when they read book distribution stories, right? But how many would then, support, take care of the person doing it? Is that making, if you're understanding that? So that variance, because we are interested in the energy. Oh, the story is so nice, it made me feel so good. Oh, this is so nice, it made me feel so good. So you see, we are interested in the energy, right? And if you keep sucking the energy out, and in social media, it's only energy. You see people's pictures, you see, it's only energy. There is no personality, right? It's just your phone with just energy coming out. Oh, wow, he's enjoying, this person enjoying, oh, this person is sad. So you're just taking on the energy. So then you yourself are becoming like that. Now you're touchy. If you deal too much in energy, you become touchy. So, that's why it's explained, like men, they do more object stuff. So they are less touchy, right? We deal with objects, physicals. And then women deal more in energy, so they are more touchy. Right? So something like that. So that, and of course, then we'll also see men similar. Like, you may see some women are more interested in objects and some men are more interested in energies. But anyone who is doing a lot of energy becomes very touchy. And if you become very touchy, then the conversations are not very smooth. So this Nama Rupa Guna Bhavyam and the position that Narad Muni is taking has to be appreciated. Right? He's discussing subject matters which may seemingly be touchy. Right? But when the way Bhagavatam rolls out is to explain that these touchy subjects all roll down to one basic fact. That Nama Sankirtanam Yasya. You just chant Krishna's name, right? And then eventually things will resolve itself. So yeah, I know I sidetracked. I know. I'm sorry. It's just that this is. I've been reading this book on ethics, so I find it interesting what they're speaking about, and how Bhagavatam is also relating to that. Yeah. Anything else devotees want to share? No. All right. Jai Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.